By now, we are sure you have heard of the Tide Pod Challenge, also known as the Forbidden Fruit Challenge, a social media fad that encourages teens to upload videos of themselves putting laundry detergent pods in their mouths and biting on them. While the intended result for them might be social media fame, one teenager found himself fighting for his life instead. Before we begin, if you are interested in this type of videos, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. This 17-year-old American boy is known only as Junior. In January of this year, he told his friends he wanted to experience the greatness of laundry pod flavor, and claimed it would make him famous on the internet. To raise the stakes, he decided to put 3 laundry pods in his mouth instead of 1. It would end up being the biggest mistake of his life. Junior had everything ready for the stunt. He grabbed 3 detergent pods from the laundry room and set up his phone in front of the kitchen sink. He planned to bite quickly on the pods, then spit them out immediately. What he didn't know was that these detergent pods were going to do to his body what they were designed to do to clothing stains: destroy. The teenager put the 3 pods in his mouth and bit down hard, piercing the vinyl film that covers the detergent. Immediately, he felt a burning sensation wafting up into his nose. He bent over the sink and spit the pods out, but it was too late. Liquid detergent had already poured into his mouth. As his tongue was overcome by a burning, numbing sensation, the nightmare began. Junior's gag reflex had him coughing and retching, but the liquid was already seeping into his throat. What's worse, the coughing fit caused him to suck some of the detergent into his trachea and fill his airways. With every cough, more detergent was getting lodged inside his lungs. His mother, Jane, heard the commotion and went into the kitchen. What she saw horrified her. Jane's son had already started vomiting, and he began foaming at the mouth. As the detergent's chemicals burned his esophagus and stomach, he gripped his chest and cried out in pain. With his airways compromised, Junior struggled to breathe, and his lips started turning blue. Jane was confused as to what was going on, until she saw the chewed-up pods in the sink. Junior's mother immediately called the Poison Control Center, who told her to give him water and not induce vomiting. But when she told them his lips were turning blue, they prompted her to call 911. As the ambulance arrived, he became somnolent and started losing consciousness. He finally arrived at the ER, but he wasn't out of danger yet. Once in the emergency room, Junior lost consciousness, and was at risk of imminent respiratory failure. The injuries on his airways were disrupting airflow and bringing down his blood oxygen levels. He was also suffering from tachycardia. Without immediate intervention, he would go into cardiopulmonary arrest and likely die. Doctors worked fast to intubate him. By intubating Junior, doctors were able to prevent respiratory arrest and stabilize his airways. There is no cure or antidote to laundry detergent poisoning, so all they could do was provide supportive care to alleviate his symptoms and keep him monitored. After realizing her son almost died and was going to need extensive care to recover, Jane was left wondering how a squeeze of laundry detergent could be so powerful and act so quickly. Laundry pods are more concentrated than regular detergent, meaning a small amount of liquid is more powerful and effective than its equivalent in the bottled versions. Laundry detergent is also designed to attach itself to both water and grease in order to remove stains from fabric. Incidentally, this is what makes it so deadly. As anyone with a passing knowledge of chemistry knows, oil and water don't mix. However, the chemical composition in most detergents gives them a simultaneous affinity for both water and fat. One end of a detergent molecule attaches itself to water molecules, while the other end attaches itself to fat molecules. This creates what is called an emulsion which, used correctly, efficiently washes grease and stains away. In the body, though, it wreaks havoc. Mucosal surfaces like the mouth, esophagus and lungs contain water in the form of moisture. But they also contain fat in the outer membrane of cells that make up the epithelial lining. Detergent molecules will attach themselves to both, creating attractive forces strong enough to rip open the cell membrane, spilling out its contents and killing it. While doctors were able to prevent Junior from going into cardiopulmonary arrest, the tissue damage was already done. There are several types of injuries one can suffer after ingesting laundry detergent. Contact with mucous surfaces induces liquefactive necrosis, disintegrating the lining of the esophagus and leading to possible tissue perforation. Another possibility is coagulation necrosis, when blood clots block the flow of oxygen and lead to hypoxemia. Junior was given prophylactic antibiotics and corticosteroids to prevent infection and limit inflammation. But his road to recovery was long. The chemical burns on his esophagus made him unable to swallow, so Junior could only be fed through a nasogastric tube. He spent several days in the hospital under close supervision and most likely in pain and discomfort. Though it almost cost him his life, he finally learned a lesson that should have been obvious from the beginning. But there are still kids out there attempting the same stunt that almost killed Junior. In the past, cases of laundry detergent ingestion dealt mostly with young children or mentally impaired geriatric patients. Now, it's also a problem among teens. During all of 2016, poison control centers around the U.S. handled 39 cases of intentional laundry pod exposure among 13 to 19-year-olds. But just in the first 2 weeks of 2018, that number has already been surpassed. And it's all thanks to social media. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell for more content like this.